I'm Ethan Kraft of Central Virginia Bass Cast. Today we're going to be talking about drop shots and how I rig a drop shot actually. I use a 1/0 bait keeper hook, and I actually rig it Texas style. It actually helps when the fish are very finicky, so I'll explain that later. But once again, I use my clinch knot. You take it up the line about a foot maybe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You take your tag and you bring it up through your little loop. Then you bring it through your second loop. Get it just a little tight. You wet it so it doesn't fray your line, and you tight it. Make sure you get it good and tight so fish don't break it off. Now I tie my little casting sinker to the bottom of it, and I still use my little clinch knot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Take your little tag and bring it through the hole. Then you bring it through your other loop. Tighten it down. Wet it again. Make sure it's good and tight. And you clip your little extra tag off. And you should have this. I use a little, I think it's an 1/8 ounce casting sinker with a 1/0 bait keeper hook. Most people use circle hooks, but this helps when the fish get really finicky, which is most of the time for where I fish. And I'll explain more about that in a minute. Shot, I usually use anywhere between 6 to 12 inches of a leader, because the point of a drop shot is to get your bait above any vegetation or brush, any type of structure that the fish may be holding in, because they could be looking up. It just depends on how the bite is going. I got a little hand-pulled worm of mine. Most people use the circle hooks, and they always nose hook them about like that. But when the fish get very finicky, they'll always grab it here, see, and then they end up ripping your worm off. I like to use my drop shot Texas style, and you bring it through probably about a 1/2 inch or so, and you hook your worm up on the bait holder part, and you bring the tip of your hook through the top and rest it back down in there. Now when a fish is finicky, if they grab that little bit right there, they're hooked. So about 9 times out of 10, every time I get a bite on a drop shot, I get it. Now I'm going to be talking about how to fish a drop shot and my equipment. I have a 6' 11" custom drop shot rod by Beck Rods. Now the key for these type of fishing, you want it to be very sensitive, because fish can be finicky and you want to feel the least little bite. And also I use 100% fluorocarbon line. You can use any line of your choice. I prefer a 10-pound test, just so it gives you extra little strength unless you hook into a whopper, you know. Alright, now I'm going to talk about how to fish it. You want to cast it on out there. Another thing is, you want to let it sink to the bottom once again. There's many ways to fish a drop shot, and here's the way I do it. When it hits the bottom, I shake the tip of it and get that worm to dance around just a little bit. Key thing with drop shot fishing too, you want to fish very slow also, because a lot of times when you have to fish a drop shot, fish are very finicky and they don't want to have to chase a bait around in order to eat. They want to just be kind of lazy and pick up what's wounded or anything. Sometimes I pick up very slow. Actually, I haven't really gotten hung up with a drop shot either, but that trick of hitting your butt of your rod and making that rod tip shake out helps a lot. And but very rarely you get hung up with a drop shot. And you just keep fishing it back to you. A lot of times I let it go right underneath the boat just in case the fish are right underneath of it. Alright.